This is Harry Juffer Boxing Social in partnership with Empire Fight Store. We're at Bijou here in Sheffield for the launch of the Undisputed boxing game. Pretty loud in here, Sonny, I'll be honest. Talk to me about that boxing game you've just watched, you've just played there. It's been a long time coming, Sonny.
Yeah, I mean, it's been something I've been involved with for over 2 years now, probably coming up to 3 pre-lockdown, I think, really. It's taken a long while to get here, but the game way grew out of the original expectations. More fighters, more governing bodies, more everything got involved. More publishing, investors, etc., etc. I think everyone's just seen who's had a little look at a couple of games we just played down at the end of the room, that this game is the real deal. It looks great to the eye test. It feels great. The people playing their game are excited. They're entertained and genuinely feel like they're in a fight. I think as a boxer, it's very pleasing to get hold of it and try and put my boxing brain into a game. For the first time ever, I feel there's some sort of, connection there. With fight nights and games like that, it was very just animation, whatever sort of mechanics worked in the game. But generally with this game, Undisputed, I'm really excited for everyone to get their hands on it. Really, really excited.
How much did it replicate or capture your style?
Well, I've been involved, like I said, for a long time. I've been in a motion capture suit quite a few times to get my style, as well as, I'm not going to name any, I don't want to ruin the, you know what I mean, the mystique, the mystery, but a couple of other styles as well in the game, and yeah, like buzzing. I just played me against my brother, and I think you can definitely see that I've been in there. I've put my own touch to my fight, and the way I move, the way I cross my legs, the way I throw certain shots. It's surreal really to see now it all coming to the final point. Obviously, I've had a long time to be excited about it, but I've got my gaming computer ready, loaded up, ready to go. 31st of January, Undisputed gets launched on Steam, and I can't wait, honestly. I look forward to seeing everyone out there online.
Only a couple of days away. Like you said, you played your brother. That's the photo I got. I'll put it to the camera.
If you want to zoom in.
Yeah, I'll go zoom in.
His trainer was behind watching, and he's just behind you now, so, you know what I mean? I gave him a little show of what's what.
But look, it's a local company as well, Steel City Interactive. You made home here in Sheffield as well, and it's a local company. I guess does that add to it a little bit as well?
Well, yeah, more than adding to it, I think it was the whole reason it came about. I've been, I want to say a gamer, per se, pretty much my whole life. I was raised in front of a PlayStation 1 and upwards. I had every console pretty much since. So the opportunity, as you can imagine, to get involved in a boxing game when I did, I jumped at it before the real vision started playing out. And what was the question, sorry?
Does it make it sweeter that it's produced for a local company?
Yeah, sorry, and that's the way it came about. I got sort of reached out to, offered the opportunity to get involved, jumped at it. I trusted the vision early on when maybe a lot of people were struggling too. I know from just being sort of inside the studio, there was a lot of fighters that 2-3 years ago completely turned up their nose at the opportunity to get in the fight game, to only fast forward 12 months and they're sending emails, their managers getting in contact, the fighters getting in contact, the fighters are messaging other fighters, how'd you get me in the game? So I think now we're at a stage where the whole of the world of boxing, especially those involved, are waiting for it to simmer over. I think when this game drops and you've got the biggest fighters from Mexico, the biggest fighters from America, the biggest fighters from the UK, and everywhere in between, posting this game, I'm on this boxing game, this game's out. I think the little advertising hubs and the reach it's going to get to will cover the whole of the boxing world, genuinely. I don't think they've missed out too many fighters that people are really going to be headaching about, and there's always the opportunity to get them in the future as well.
I think we've seen that though with the UFC as well. The UFC games are huge, aren't they? We've seen that with that side of the sport. We've been needing a boxing game for so long now, Sonny.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened is once they realised they could get a game in UFC to fill the combat genre, they only had to deal with one man in Dana White and the company. They got all the fighters in the contract, so they just had to make one agreement and everyone was already signed on. Boxing's different, it's very stagnated. Every boxer involved has had to go through on offer, contract, get you in, are you interested? Yes. Scanning, certain fighters motion capture, certain fighters like and when you're looking at 50, 100, 200 that will be eventually released. I think there'll be over 50 or 100 for early access or somewhere in between there. And then for the full game, way above that. I don't want to get the numbers wrong. But it's a lot of work and a lot of behind the scenes, and also a lot of people benefiting from their space and position in the boxing world in a way that in boxing hasn't happened. I mean, you have the footballers and the basketball players and all these other games that they get media, they get more exposure. That even their events are more excitable because everyone knows the characters. Even if they've never watched the interview, never seen them on TV, they've played them on the game. They've got an ultimate team card, and now they know that player. That is what really happens in this world, and I think boxing's got its opportunity now, where the whole world's been starved of a boxing game for 12 years, 11 years. Fight Night champion, didn't even have the most revolutionary, like trying to really push the best boxing game back then. It was more who they could get in and the price points and making money, etc. This game has been made by boxing fans who want a boxing game and have expertise in the field. They had to learn at every step of the way. This is the first game this studio's made, and I'm tremendously, honestly, and I'm not just saying it, sorry, so proud of everyone involved, Asher Peeb, the rest of the team, because where I've seen it from, where we've got stuck on input and motion capture, movement, glitches, punches, like I've seen it get stuck at every time and then have to get overcome and have to get overcome and have to get overcome. So now to sit there and be able to play a 12-round fight, me versus my brother, no glitches, no one's flying off, no start again, and every single minute of that fight, and the Ali versus Fury against me and Boxing Fanatico, he took my L, I'll be real, my first loss on Undisputed. But to sit there and be immersed into a game, honestly, I started playing when there was no one in this room. There was about 10 people, 15 people. I put the pad down, looked around, and the whole room was full. And it did it, and because I was so in the game, I didn't even realise.
Final question on the game as well. In terms of like having you in the game and what it took to put you in the game, how long was it? You know, when you go, you have all those dots on you and you go through how you punch and they use that and make the game. How long was that did they have with you to do that sort of thing? So they made sure that they got your movement.
Well, everyone, to get their bodies in, the reason why every single character model is as close to perfection is because we've all stood in front of like 1,000 cameras and had hundreds and hundreds of pictures taken at the same time in a room in Sheffield somewhere, and then that's been put into the engine. Fighters that aren't alive no more or need shape changing because they're not in camp or they're well retired have to get de-aged and have to get all edited online. But this is the best method of putting a human person into a video game that they have. I forget his name, but the guy that made Metal Gear Solid, Death Stranding, the guy from Konami, he flew over to Sheffield to this same 1024 studio to input people into his Death Stranding game. I'm pretty sure that one. But one of his latest games, biggest blockbuster, AAA, flew all the way from Japan, where we're told that they have the best of everything, to Sheffield to get people into a game. So that's why it looks the best, because it's the best technology. And the team, they're not just making it for financial and trying to get the cost down and the profits up like most big businesses and most big game studios do. Everything's about making the most exceedingly boxing experience on a video game that there's ever been. That was the mission. That was even before Canelo, Tyson Fury, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Terence Crawford, Katie Taylor, Ryan Garcia. I could sit here and just freestyle names that I've not even thought about. Usyk, because there's that many good names in the game. Before any of them, the goal was to make the best simulation, like real life fighting boxing game. I think they've done that. But what we've got on top of that is the best licensed boxing game there's ever been.
Obviously, moving on to things within boxing now. Had Eubank Smith last weekend. Your assessment on it? No one saw that coming, Sonny. What did you see it?
So I said before, and you could probably find evidence somewhere, It depends what Liam Smith and what Eubank's getting in the ring. If Eubank comes out firing heavy hands and it looks like they're getting through Liam Smith's guard and getting to him at all, very long night. But if Liam, first couple of rounds, isn't phased at all, which he wasn't, then Eubank, every time he stepped up to A level, really, he's lost. And I don't want to talk down on him because I think he's great for the sport. I don't want to sound disrespectful. Put my entire just boxing brain on this. Every time Chris Eubank has stepped up to any sort of level, again, apart from against a very faded and past it James DeGale, in my opinion, he's lost. Billy Joe, George Grove, like every single time. So Liam Smith has won at a level far higher than Chris Eubank is. So even though the weight was coming up, for me, in boxing, I think this doesn't ever get talked about and nowhere near enough. What we see a lot of times with fighters is when a fighter's looking down compared to when a fighter's looking up. Think of the game, because we're standing with Undisputed. That fighter that's looking down, with the mentality they've approached camp, the fight, the build-up, the diet, they might be up to a 15% complacency drop-down meter getting into the ring. When they get in there expecting a fight to be a little bit easier than it turns out to be, that 15% partnered up with the 15% that gets added from the fighter that might change his life, there's a reason why there's the complacency meter, because they're looking down on him rather than up. So the fighter that's ready to change their life has a 15% boost. Sometimes that fighter A might be better than fighter B, but that 15% drop to that 15% uprise, that fighter's the winner. And I'm not even necessarily saying that against Liam Smith, but I genuinely think Chris Eubank thought he was going to beat him. I think he thought he was too small. He's lost against him, I'm going to beat him. And his body language in the first round for me was terrible. He looked scared for me in the first round. And I was there, and I like Chris Eubank, and his dad, Chris Eubank Sr., one of my favourite fighters of all time, one of my British boxing legends. His personality, his aura, his style, his not give a fuck about what anyone thinks. Legendary, in my opinion. And I just felt like he got in there, felt a bit scared, and then he did a similar thing to what Michael Conor ended up doing against Lee Wood. He got backed up. All he did was move, blinded himself, shot coming, and he got knocked out, or her. If you stay in every second, watching every shot come, yeah, you might see the shot that come that hurts you, but you can see it the whole way. When you're just panicking, react, and then you get caught where your vision slightly, that split second gets blurred, it's double the shot, triple the shot. And then you're on the floor, your head's rattled, your head's gone, you thought it was going to be an easy night, talking about 50-60%. Now your brain's thinking, now I'm looking like a laughing stock while I'm in the ring. It's all a whole abundance of things, but I generally think at the be-all and end of it, Liam Smith is probably a better fighter at 160 than Chris Eubank Jr. is.
What did you make of the news that Cattle Sauerland's team are considering appealing for the elbow? You said just then you've seen every shot. Did you see a possible elbow that could mean that that's what ended the fight?
If an elbow landed, it wasn't in out of malicious. It was in the process of throwing. Where your body goes, your body goes. And it was going to be the inside. The elbow we talk about, the outside. That's an elbow, that. Throwing like this and that part coming, that's not an elbow. That's the forearm. It's different. I think on one angle, they looked like there was like a bit of boom. But on another angle, it looked like it just hit him with a left hook and that the forearm didn't get to him. So, are they going to do it? I don't think.
I don't think they're going to do it. Maybe they're stoking up stuff for the rematch, perhaps.
Yeah, I just think that was just a bit of promoter, you know what I mean? But who knows, they might.
Your reply as well, we saw people coming out. Conor Benn came out and said, yeah, his video of him and his father, you said that perhaps a juiced up Conor Benn does beat a 50% Eubank. Explain that tweet, Sonny.
Well, you had to get that quoted. No, I'm just saying, yeah, right now, let me disclaim it for legal purposes and out of respect for Conor. I don't even have a problem with him.
No, at all.
I'm just an avid boxing fan, fanatic, like lover of the sport. So anyone can get it when we talk about certain things. But right now, we don't know. I've not seen a 270-page document. But what we do know is, okay, he has been tested with something in his system. Did he take it purposely? Did he take it unpurposely? Whatever. What I am saying is, even if he's never been on juice before in his life, if we've never seen Conor Benn on juice in his life, a juiced up Conor Benn versus a 160 Chris Eubank is a very good fight.
Definitely. Moving Smith, I think, right, moving swiftly on as well, a lot of backlash in terms of the YouTube side of the sport. We see everyone on Twitter complaining. You've become a real big fan of Salt Pappy. Is that correct?
Now, Salt Pappy's my guy, and do you know why, yeah? I went down to, a few of us went down for a little weekend in London to the KSI fight. Something was on that weekend, I'm there, yeah? When he fought Swarms and then Pineda. Salt Pappy walks in, way overweight, pulling the maddest facial expressions and like he's an anime character against a lad that's much bigger than him. Looked bigger than him anyway, to me. And he pieced him up in about 30 seconds. And honestly, he came out and didn't throw a shot. He come out, fainted, faint. And I went, he's a ringer, straight away. 30 seconds later, he knocked him out, and I went, see? Because he can move and judge distance that other fighters can't. That last one, he had someone about... Salt Pappy should probably be about lightweight, max. And that's probably pushing it compared to some of the fighters. Like maybe like a featherweight. But he's boxing at like what? Super middle, light, heavy, cruiser, whatever he's fighting at. Yeah. Fighting big lumps and piecing them up. Salt Pappy can fight, he's my guy. And do you know what it is? It's different. But I watch it. I don't watch it thinking I'm about to watch the best boxing I've ever seen. I'm watching the weigh-in, the press conferences, the ring walk, everything, to try and work out, can this person fight, and specifically, can they fight more than the other person before they get in the ring? I try and confidently, with all things like I can say, pick the winner. And I'll be real, I've got 99% right. Like, I'll be real. It seems very easy to read, I'll be real.
Do you enjoy it then? There was a lot of people, a lot of boxing hardcores coming out are so against it, how it's regulated, the fact that, you know, they're taking the limelight of boxers that have been through the ranks, etc. How do you see the YouTube influence of boxing?
I'm not even trying to be offensive, but if you got your money up, I don't think you'd be complaining. Facts. If you're not bringing 20,000 people to sit in the O2 from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, you do not deserve as much money as KSI. Facts. And I don't care what level or what you think you deserve or how many years you put in. If KSI books a venue, 20,000 people fight over tickets, he deserves the money. If Sonny Edwards goes to Sheffield Arena and does 3,500, 4,000, I get paid accordingly for that. But right now, I'm getting paid good, so I have got no gripe with no YouTuber. If anything, Mams Taylor, I've got a couple of fighters coming your way. Now, seriously, obviously we know that I help look after a couple of fighters. He's already been tipped off at the one I'm talking about. I don't want to drop no bombshells. I don't want to drop no bombshells.
There we go, read into that what you will. One fight that has been announced though, yesterday in fact, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. Give you a lowdown on that one. How do you see that one going?
Well, if I don't say Tommy Fury is going to knock him out within 3, I'm getting headlocked by at least 3 of the Fury members, you know what I mean? So, now seriously, I want Tommy to do it. I like Tommy. We've shared a changing room, we've shared for a fight, we've shared fight weeks and that, media days. He's a good lad, real nice lad. Got chucked in and thrust in like the biggest universe of social media, reality TV world with boxing. So he's in such a unique place that many people can't, won't and don't understand. Does he beat Jake Paul? I hope so. I hope a Fury beats Jake Paul, genuinely, for boxing's sake. If he doesn't, fair enough. Like, but no one can say Jake Paul isn't a professional fighter, because if you can name me any fighters that have done any more of him on most of these small hall shows, building up as a professional fighter, or many of the Olympians fighting prospects on the way up, first 5, 6, 7, 8 fights, which he's only had about that. If you can tell me anyone that's got as good of a resume on paper, even though there's a basketball player, a couple of YouTubers, a couple of 40-plus-year-old MMA fighters, if you can actually show me a better resume on the small hall circuit, then he's not a professional boxer. But you can't really. So, Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. I want Fury to win for the UK. Now, the Americans, they give us hell. But they're very good at what they do. Let this be a lesson. There's a reason why WWE is successful. There's a reason why the YouTubers are successful. And boxing is somewhere in the middle right now, somehow. All of that. Because it's not fake, it's not WWE. It's not just real life. It's not just like people filming their YouTube. It's a blend. It's in the middle. It's a sport. You write the script with your performances, but you've got to market yourself. If you don't market yourself, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't speak to you people and him over there, then no one's going to know about you. Then you can sit on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or an interview with you, and you can moan and you can say KSI shouldn't get this, he don't deserve it. Even though he's been boxing for years now. He first walked into a boxing gym that I seen training with, get onto this, Frank Buglioni at the TKO gym while I was an amateur. About 15, 16 I met KSI. So that was the first time I seen him do a boxing session with Frank Buglioni. Get onto that.
Finally on you as well then, you're looking, it may be even on now, the fight. One fight you're probably interested in tonight. Jimenez and Dalakian. Who would you rather have?
I don't care. I don't care about either of them. I don't care about Martinez. I don't care about Ban Rodriguez. At the moment, I don't really care about boxing. I'll be real. What's the point? I care when no one else does. I want the fights when no one else does. I'm a busy fool. I will sit there, let the months go on. When I'm ready to fight, I'll book the venue. I will book the date. I will book the opponent. Because I've got all that leverage now. I'm going to stop there begging for fights, simping for fights, like losing my value at the negotiation table because how much I want them, whilst giving the other fighters more because I want them more than they do. Yeah, I don't care about any of them. I don't want to answer a question about any of them. I don't know who I'm fighting next. I don't care who I'm fighting next. You can put anyone in. That's people I haven't fought, any of the last 19, at any time of my career, and the same thing will keep happening. No one has got remotely close, in my opinion, to even chinking the army yet. I don't think. Like, I have not been in a hard fight, properly hard, competitive, close on the score. That could have went that way, that could have went that way, yet I have not been in one.